Have you ever lost something that you really cared about? Maybe your wallet, your keys, something sentimental. And suddenly, finding that one thing becomes the most important thing in the room. Now, imagine Jesus telling three stories about something being lost. Except he isn't talking about your keys. He's talking about people. Luke 15 begins with tax collectors and sinners coming near to Jesus. And the religious leaders aren't happy about it. They're complaining that Jesus receives sinners and even eats with them. So Jesus responds by telling three stories. A shepherd loses a sheep, a woman loses a coin, and a father has a son who leaves home. So we have a sheep, a coin, and a son. And there's a pattern running through all three of these stories. Something is lost, something is sought, something is found. And then comes something you might not expect. Celebration. After the shepherd finds his sheep, he calls his friends and neighbors to come rejoice with him. After the woman finds her coin, she does that same thing. And when the son finally returns home, his father doesn't respond with coldness. Luke 15 verse 20 says, "But when he was still a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him." Think about that. The father sees him while he's still a great way off. And instead of making him earn his way back into the family, he runs toward him. But there's other details that we can't miss. Jesus tells these three stories because the religious leaders are angry that he welcomes sinners. So the question underneath Luke chapter 15 isn't simply, what happens when something gets lost? It's, how does God respond when a sinner comes home? And Jesus gives us the answer. There is joy. Jesus says in Luke 10 verse 15, "Likewise I say to you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents." One sinner, not 1,000, not 1,000,000, one. And this connects directly with what Jesus later says in Luke chapter 19 verse 10. "For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save which was lost." That's the mission of Jesus. He came looking for the lost. So maybe you're thinking about somebody right now. Someone who seems far from God. Someone who has walked away. Someone who has made decisions you don't understand. Or maybe that person is you. Luke 15 reminds us that repentance isn't the story of someone cleaning themselves up enough for God to finally accept them. It's the story of a sinner turning back to the Father. And what happens? Heaven rejoices. So don't underestimate what God can do through one conversation, one prayer, one act of kindness, one invitation, one person willing to point somebody back to Jesus. Because according to Jesus, heaven celebrates when that one lost person comes home. You may see one lost person. God sees someone worth seeking, saving, and celebrating when they come home to Him. And that's exactly why Jesus came.